Nia Jax I've actually written Nia Jax has threatened to return to wrestling. Here,
threatens to return.
Yeah, threatens to return to wrestling. In an interview with Sportskeeda and Bill Apter, she said the following: "I am training. I'll train over at Devon Dudley's ring. He's great. And then I go over to Natty and TJ, so they run me through some drills and stuff like that. I have matches, and that I'll get in the ring every now and then with some of my friends like Charlotte Flair and her husband Manny." Nia Jax returning. How does that strike you?
Oh, she didn't do anything before, and she's one of the types that I keep reading that she hurt people, and there's no need for that. She is a big girl. She's well over, what do you think she weighs?
Don't ask me that.
I'm going to ask you.
No, I'm not going to say. More than me.
But a guy weighing 250 is different than a girl weighing 250. Because usually guys weighing 250 can control themselves. I don't think Nia, she's done that big drop on some of the girls and have hurt them. They've complained about her. But if anybody's going to get back, I think Nia would be a prime candidate because of her ancestry that's planted in WWE right now and has been planted since 50 years ago. The Samoans have always been a part of WWE and always been big stars. You never really saw a Samoan. If he wasn't main event, he'd be third from the top. So they always use the Samoan talent very, very well in WWE. And one thing about the Samoan guys, the Samoan talent, I have never been hurt by any Samoan talent whatsoever. They were usually the lightest and the easiest guys to work with because I think they knew internally that they were big and they could actually hurt somebody if they didn't actually take precautions to protect their opponents, and they always did. Even Afa and Sika, I worked with them years and years and years ago, and you never felt them. I mean, from Brackus, I mentioned about Brackus being one of the stiffest guys I ever worked with. From Brackus to them is like, well, I said Brackus, I've been in easier street fights. Oh, he was just, you just couldn't hold him. You're not as strong as he is. So, and he wouldn't be strong except for 2 or 3 minutes because then he'd blow up. But these Samoans were bigger and in better shape. They could go all night and took bumps like crazy. Just, they were naturals. So if anybody was ever born to wrestle the style that is wrestled now, it would be somebody born in Samoa, because I always had a lot of respect for those guys.
I was looking up Nia Jax before. Luckily, she had a build weight, so we can go off that. She was 6 foot and 272 pounds build weight. Did you ever see
272? You know what that means?
Go on.
300 at least,
maybe. Do you think? I'd say forget about thinking. Did you ever see the Nia Jax Charlotte match from a few years ago live on Raw?
I did see that.
Oh,
there was a little bit of a antagonism between those two girls, and you could tell they got hot, and they got hot, but didn't know what to do about it. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do in it unless you just flat out punch somebody. I don't think Charlotte wanted to do that. You know, Nia wanted to, but she didn't, to her defense. But a very awkward situation too. You have that match?
I can find a clip of it. Why don't we find a clip of it? Hang on.
All right.
Okay, we're back, and hopefully we won't get content ID for this damn thing. I've got the overlay on, so let's have a look. So, is this the one? Let me just rewind it a bit.
I think it is. So,
For our audio listeners, what's happening there? There seems to be a front face chancery. It used to be called a chancery, didn't it? You know, the front face.
Yeah, it used to be, yes. And now she slaps her. Oh, and now they're a little hot.
This is the
and
one,
she
isn't
snatches her. Yes, this is it.
Oh, it's just awkward. Now they just stood there, just pawing at each other.
Now, neither one of them want to do nothing now. Neither one of them. Oh, yeah. Now,
Yeah. She did throw an actual punch then.
No. See, she blocks her. She don't want to go. She doesn't want to get up in the air, and I don't blame her. And, here we go. Let's see what's going to happen here. Oh, see, they're not communicating, and they're kind of pissed off.
Well,
and because Charlotte doesn't want to be up there.
She's putting a sleeper on their forehead.
Oh, okay. I don't know what they're trying to do here. So that was it, though. That's it.
Oh, goodness me. That was...
It was very awkward. And
I told you beforehand, there's like things like that just make me go, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with live TV usually just because of things like that.
Well, I bet if Vince that was on Raw, correct?
Oh, yeah. 2021.
I bet Vince was going nuts. What the hell? And they tried to edit probably out of that and they couldn't. It
was live.
That was, who said this? Oh, I did. Oh, what? They can't edit live TV? But yeah, it was live. You're right. But they probably had a talk with both of them on the way back, privately, of course, because if you got both of them together, it would start up again. I don't think Vince would be too happy. But I could just hear Vince now, what the fuck is going on? And screaming, and then everybody runs, because you don't want to be at the point of one of Vince's rampages, and he usually apologizes later. If you didn't have nothing to do with it, hey pal, I didn't mean you. He's done it to me a time or two. But
is he really?
Yeah. Well, he goes off on somebody else. And then I'd be in the room and he'd look at me like I had the answer. Hell, I was just standing there. And that was it. But we showed that clip to show that Nia is not, the girls didn't trust her not to hurt them. And I don't blame them because they bill her at 272, which could mean anywhere from 250 to, it's got to be higher than 272. She could be up to 310. Who knows? But it's a lot of weight to control, and especially on those girls. And when she punches you, she's got a lot of power behind that punch. So you saw exactly what we saw. Basically, they weren't cooperating, and it made it look like crap.
Mm-hmm.
That's, folks, is why wrestlers can do the stuff they do, because they're both working to produce that effect for fans that buy tickets.